Hello everyone, I decided to try something unique for this hero examination. Each December, I will explore a different version of Santa Claus from across pop culture, one of the definitive Christmas heroes whose story has evolved through countless forms of media. Today, we're looking at a fascinating take, Norf from Rise of the Guardians. And like my Atticus Finch review, I will reference the book that the film is based on alongside the film, since the book provides some good background for the character. So, let's take a look.
Also, feel free to like, share, and hit the bell. Also comment below if you want me to look over any heroes.
At the start of his story, Norf knew very little about his parents. What he did know was how to fight. He became one of Russia's most legendary warriors, skilled with both swords and guns. Rumors even claim he once defeated an entire cavalry while eating. His reputation led him to join the Cossacks, the most feared tribe of warriors in the Russian Empire. But as their disregard for human life grew, Norf abandoned them. Instead, he became one of Russia's greatest outlaws, known across Europe as the King of the Bandits. He was fearless, rebellious, and a brilliant sword fighter. During his travels, he learned countless languages, created and mastered different blades, and collected stories. He also developed a love for adventure and treasure. Umbric Salazar from the village of Santa Claus foresaw a dangerous force rising again. He asked the man in the moon for help, and in turn he sent North a dream of great treasure hidden in Santa Claus. True to his nature, Norf went out to find it. While marching through an enchanted forest, his band of thieves encountered a spirit covered in gold. The thieves rushed towards it, but Norf was drawn instead by the sound of children and a roaring bear. He chose to save the children. However, the thieves were transformed into elves and turned into stone. Norf defeated the bear, only to discover it was a puppet controlled by Pitch Black, the boogeyman. This was his first encounter with magic. Umbric took Norf in, and his curiosity led him to become the wizard's apprentice. He quickly mastered both magic and the science of the village. Umbric recognized Norf's good heart, ingenuity, and sense of wonder, believing he could surpass even him. Norf embraced this new life, abandoning his criminal past and dedicating himself to facing Pitch and protecting children's dreams. Together with Catherine, also known as Nightlight, Norf journeyed to contact the man in the moon. Along the way, Catherine gave him a dream of a snowy, joyful home he could one day call his own, which will be known as the North Pole. Eventually, Norf met the devout followers of the man in the moon, the Lumar Lamadas, and the Yetis. Finally, the man in the moon himself gave Norf a purpose, to become the guardian of children. He presented him with a sword capable of harming Pitch and containing the wisdom of the Golden Age. With this power, Norf freed the elves and gave them a new path. He then created a place where children could always feel safe and protected. With the help of the other guardians, Santa Claus was transported to the North Pole. There, they built a city of the Second Age, complete with reindeer, yetis, and enchanted trees. Norf established a workshop where yetis crafted toys and elves tested them. He even created a sled that could move at the speed of light. From this backstory, it's clear Santa didn't begin as a jolly figure. Norf was always a skilled fighter, quick learner, and creative thinker, traits that later defined him as a guardian. His early life was full of wrong turns, first serving ruthless warriors and becoming a bandit. But his choices often came from rebellion against cruelty, not malice. The man in the moon saw in him a goodness that Norf himself hadn't recognized. His turning point came from when he heard the voices of the children in the forest. That moment sparked his true purpose, protecting children. His curiosity and love of challenges made him eager to learn magic, science, and new ways to bring joy. Ultimately, his childlike enthusiasm for discovery evolved into creating toys, sharing wonder and happiness with children everywhere. From the very beginning, he was presented as an established leader, firm yet joyful, serious yet uplifting. He clearly takes delight in his work, but never loses sight of his importance. In his workshop, he commands elves and yetis with authority, while also inspiring them with his energy and humor. This leadership extends beyond the workshop, as he takes on the role of a semi-leader amongst the Guardians. He is the one with the power to summon them and recognize problems. His ability to balance joy and responsibility allows him to connect deeply with the other Guardians, strengthening their unity. Years of leading elves, yetis, and even thieves, combined with his training as a fighter, has sharpened his skills as a leader. He is often the one to propose strategies and encourage the others to persevere. What makes him unique in particular is the way he leads. His commanding voice is paired with a childlike joy, showing that his Santa persona is not a mask, but his true nature. The warrior's side only emerges as a shield when a children needs protection, revealing how deeply he cares about his role, both as Santa and as a guardian. This brings us to another side of this character, his optimism, mischievous humor, and an unshakable spirit. Even in the face of setbacks, he remains upbeat. When all the teeth were stolen from the Tooth Fairy, he didn't despair. Instead, he cheerfully declared that they will collect every last one, turning the task into a playful game to motivate the Guardians. When a new Guardian was chosen, he immediately accepted and respected the Man in the Moon's decision, even though the candidate holds the nihilist record, according to North. And even as Pitch grew stronger and his own powers weakened, he continued to press forward with resilience and good humor. This lightheartedness is not new. Even before he became Santa, he likely possessed a natural charisma, enough to lead a band of thieves and keep their loyalty, even after they were transformed into stone and elves. Behind this stern exterior, he understands the value of joy and levity, knowing how deeply these qualities serve humanity. His optimism may stem from his role, the duty to embody cheer, to keep spirits high and nurture belief into children. He protects them not only physically but emotionally, ensuring they feel hope and wonder. One of the clearest examples of this comes after Sandman's apparent death. Rather than succumbing to depression, he reassures Jack that Sandman would have been proud of his courage. But perhaps his most defining trait is his sense of wonder. It lies at the heart of everything he does. Beneath all his other qualities, he sees the beauty in everything, in the lights of the trees, in the magic of the air, and he longs to share that vision with the world. His gifts are not just presents, they are vessels of wonder, meant to spread the awe he himself experienced. And after witnessing the destructive power of Pitch's darkness, he now feels compelled to defend that wonder. To him, protecting children means protecting their ability to marvel at the world, ensuring that light and magic endure against any threat. Of course, he is not without setbacks. As the Eastward Bunny points out, he can be somewhat of a blowhard, carrying a sense of self-importance. This is understandable given the weight of his role and how essential Christmas is to children compared to the other holidays. Even before becoming Santa, he had a reputation for skill and leadership, which sometimes makes him believe his instincts and ideas are superior. For example, when he summoned the Guardians to confront Pitch, he admitted he never actually seen him, and he dismisses the bunny's work as less significant than Christmas. His blowhard nature comes from his booming speeches, his flair for showmanship, and his tendency to get excited about almost everything. Yet this bravado is tied in with his sense of wonder. Having once walked a darker path, he now takes his immense pride in the good he does, embracing his role with joy and passion. His ego is not about vanity, but about the love he has for his work and the wonder he wants to share with the world. Another quality that makes him truly heroic is his bravery and fearlessness. Much of this stems from his past, a history of victories and battles that left him with little to fear. Yet what defies his courage is not simply his skill, but his response to Pitch. Confronted with the fear Pitch spread, he chose to act, determined to protect children and preserve their sense of wonder. Even when faced with unimaginable odds, such as losing his powers, he never stopped fighting. He continued to search for ways to protect, showing that his bravery is not about invincibility, but about persistence in the face of struggle. His protectiveness of children is central to his identity. Though he's known as Santa, he's willing to take on other responsibilities if it means keeping children's belief alive. This shows that he clearly values every guardian's role. He never dismisses their importance, even acknowledging that Easter was more important that year than Christmas, because children's belief depended on it. Finally, we must look at his dynamic with Jack Frost. Jack was once a boy who loved playing games with his family, until one day, while saving his sister, he fell through the ice. That moment transformed him into Jack Frost. Invisible to others, he was left without a purpose, clinging only to his sense of fun with his ice powers. Over the years, he used them in both playful and mischievous ways, simply because he longed for enjoyment. When Jack was chosen to be a guardian, he refused, but it was Santa who showed him what being a guardian truly meant. He explained that it was not just about protection, but about finding a center and a purpose, something that Jack had been searching for all along. North encouraged him, reminding Jack that the man in the moon had chosen him for a reason, and assuring him that his memories would return. This guidance is one of the key factors that inspired Jack to help the Guardians. Through North's encouragement, Jack begins to see the danger Pitch pose and the importance of protecting children. By the end, after nearly losing every child while chasing his memories, Jack finally understood what it meant to be a guardian. He rekindled belief in one child, which in turn reignited hope in many others, allowing the Guardians to fight back and ultimately defeat Pitch. And none of this would have been possible without North's guidance. His leadership, optimism, bravery, and sense of wonder shaped not only the Guardians, but Jack Frost himself. So, who was North? He was far more than a sword-swinging, muscle-bound Santa Claus. North is a protector in the truest sense, not only against monsters and danger, but against something far more fragile, the wonder and happiness of children. He guards the light inside them, the spark that makes the wonder magical. His story doesn't begin on a noble path. He wandered through violence, rebellion, and mischief long before he touched a sleigh. But even then, his heart never fell completely into darkness. There was always a spark in him, curiosity, compassion, and a relentless desire to do something meaningful. With the right guidance, the right wisdom, and the right people to believe in him, that spark grew. He didn't just find a new purpose, he found himself. And in doing so, he found every child in the world choosing to dedicate his life to the joy, their dreams, and their sense of wonder. Thanks for watching.